Martin,
Yes, yes.
last year we saw a video of you on social media, the harassment that went viral. Could you explain more about that?
Anyway, just like my brothers explained,
Mm.
first and foremost, there is each and every person has got a spirit in his or her that actually drives him to do whatever he may do.
Mm-hmm.
So after going to the university, actually, after graduating,
Mm.
now I wanted to make use of my academic knowledge that I gained from environmental philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
as well as ethics of philosophy, in help efforts to see a clean environment.
Mm.
Now, I came to understand that in one way or the other, it's very difficult just to start going around telling people to say, no, please, let's maintain cleanness, let's maintain cleanness. What if I were to put myself in the shoes of those who clean, so that through that, actually, I may be able to inspire one or two. At the end of the day, I may have a good number of people that can help me to champion this exercise. So I thought of working as a volunteer,
Mm.
yeah, just to clean.
How's that going?
Sorry?
How's the volunteering part going?
Yes, so I wrote to Luansha Municipal Council if they could engage me to work as a volunteer. But after seeing my result, they were like, you a graduate,
You can't
university graduate,
volunteer.
you can't work this kind of a job. I was like, no, it's not about the job, but it's about the result. What do we want to say at the end of the day? So they were like, okay, we'll give you feedback. But they couldn't give me feedback. They said, okay, we are going to take your papers to the human so that they can give you another job.
Mm.
So I started waiting, but I was like, anyway, the response was not going to be not come the way I wanted it to come. So I went back to Kitwe.
Mm.
I spoke to some station managers, Madam Loveness Muhango, and then other people from the markets. They were like, we don't have money to give you. So now, if you start working, at the end of the day, you're going to claim to say, no, I need money. We don't have. How are you going to, even some kind of transport, how are you going to provide? Like, no, don't worry about that. I just want to volunteer. Of course, it's not every day, but I can be coming at least time to time.
Mm.
Yeah, all that I want to see is a clean city. What I wanted is to benchmark our country with Rwanda.
Mm.
So I began on the 16th September. So now these Bama junkie, they thought I was making money out of that. So one day they just came, they wanted just to embarrass me. One of them was even taking a video. So I saw the video on TikTok making rounds. I was like, to us, if you don't apply education in this. And then, even my friends, they could post on Facebook, social media platforms, other maybe WhatsApp groups saying, no, if frustration was a person, what and what, such kind of thing. So it was somewhat difficult for me, even just to go outside and speak to people, because whenever you pass them, it's like, that's the guy who's going mad. That's the guy picking paper in the streets. So it's also the mindset of people in one way or the other, because in other countries they can't even start naming you all sorts of names. They could see at least a hero in that. But in Zambia it's very bad and very sad. So that's how actually that video went viral. I was somehow disturbed because I couldn't even accomplish what I wanted. But later on, when I came to Lusaka, I continued with the same project. Yeah, sure.
Right. And it's not just the people hearing you speak, just sharing your story with me, more or less even from the system of our country. Because when you took your papers to the council, even the people that saw the papers are like, no, you're too educated for this. You're a graduate. Even coming from a background like that, what are some of the things that we can begin to do, even as as a community, even as a system, to be able to just accommodate different sorts of mindset? With your experience, you're educated, right? But you willingly volunteered to do a goodwill, and you didn't get the sort of feedback that you thought you would.
Yeah, so first and foremost, we need to have that mindset of accommodating everyone. As Zambians, more especially those who are in authorities, those who are in whichever positions. The problem that we have in Zambia is that we think when you are on that position, you have it all. You don't care about others. But what we may need is to embrace the philosophy of our late president, the founder of this one, KK.
Dr. Ken Kaunda.
Yes, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. If we embrace his philosophy of saying one Zambia, one nation, then we can go far. So even local authorities, and of course I'm not the only one who has been blocked by these other things and everything, Local people, local authorities, they need to collaborate with everyone. It doesn't mean that when somebody goes out there to explain and give out ideas is getting your job. The problem we have in Zambia is that we have fear of the unknown. We think whoever comes is going to get what I have. That's selfishness in us. We have selfishness in us. So first and foremost, we need to deal with ourselves. Then we go to the system. The system also needs to give us at least a certain percentage of how we can collaborate with people. In that way, we can really go far as a country.
Right. Now, Mr. Mande, obviously, with the rains come so many things, flooding being one of them, and it's just gotten to a place where it is absolutely cumbersome. The city is absolutely horrible. It's destroyed many things. As an activist, what do you think should be done to just, perhaps reduce this flooding? Or what everybody's efforts to to make this work. Martin, going forward, I know how this might not really be something easy on your part. Obviously, backlash in the beginnings and just the whole mindset of people around hygiene and cleanliness. I just don't want us to get to a place where we just see people taking hygiene measures, especially even to do with washing our hands when it's hand wash day or toilet day, such days. Obviously, we get to see a lot more of sensitization around hygiene purposes beyond these 2 days also, and you going forward with your works. What are we going to see different? What are we going to see differently? What are we going to see things done differently, obviously, and just you having to work on people's mindsets so they can be more accommodated?
Yeah, so if you have seen, when we speak about hygiene, garbage collection, drainage is blocked, these things has been there ever since we got independence. I was just reading a certain article where is it Lusaka City Council, by then in 2009, Mr. Abenzo was talking about the challenge they had with drainage blockage and everything. And then I have seen also the challenge they have going through the garbage collection and everything. You remember in 2018, Dr. Lungu, by then he was a president, invited the army to contain the spread of cholera. Then they could go in town whipping people, come clean here. So in itself, we are being told that this issue is not a small issue. It's really a big challenge that we have in Zambia. Not only in Zambia, but also some other countries. But first and foremost, what you need to do, if you want to achieve something, for instance, in school, if you are in grade 12 and want to have 6 points, you need to find someone who is really interested in studying, someone who is really interested in academic researches. So, for instance, we as Zambians, in order for us to achieve what we want, we have to benchmark our country with other countries which are doing well. For instance, when we speak about Rwanda, how is Rwanda doing when it comes to this garbage collection, waste storage management? How is Rwanda doing? From that, we can say, okay, do we need to send people in Rwanda so that they can go and be educated, so that at the end of the day they may come and help us? That's the duty of of the government. To be honest with you, if the government, the local authorities are going to be silent as it is or as it seems, then even people's minds.
There's no hope for the city to be clean?
There is no hope for the city to be clean. A community without a leader can't rule itself. Just like Jesus Christ was talking about to say, you can't lead a blind man to whatever. So, if the local authorities were not to put more effort, honestly speaking, we are going nowhere. It's not about me. I always tell people, this issue of saying Lusaka is dirty, Zambia is dirty, it's not about cleaning. They have been cleaning all this while. But what? It's about changing people's mindset. So now, that's changing people's mindset. That's a solution in itself, and it's a solid solution. And that solution, I'm afraid I can't disclose it right here. Of course, I may disclose it, but maybe people have used it in a different way. But it's a different issue again. And also maybe just to elaborate more on the issue of floods. Now, these are natural disasters. We cannot run away from them. We can't tell God to say, "Apano mbaba kamba infla mwalokesha sana chefie niko." We can't do that. What we need is to find good ways. We've been talking about floods each and every day. We have floods in Matao each and every year. So now, this also goes direct to our council, local authorities. It feels very bad for DMMU, Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, to come in and engage 150 people. It has become a disaster. That's the fact. So, local authorities should think, why? Sometimes we need to wake so that we lessen the burden on these DMMU. These people, they are not sleeping. Dr. Pauline, Gabriel Pauline, each and every time moving, each and every, he even works on Saturdays, Sundays, just to see that at least at the end of the day, people may have something. People may be, maybe at least helped from the burden that they are going through. DMMU. Speak about regional coordinator, Mr. Kangazuru. He is moving each and every time to ensure that people are in a safe environment. But local authorities, I'm sure they're not doing enough. We've been talking about drainages. Why can't they come up, construct good drainages so that even these disasters won't be there? But Lima Tower is ever the same. So that's the sensitization I'm talking about. In as much as we may sensitize people, but how much effort do government, local authorities put in place?
Yeah, we'll be able to hear how much they do that in the next interview. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming through and just having a conversation around how we can keep the city clean. Mr. Amande Piri, as well as Mulenga Martin, who are both activists. So yeah, thank you so much for coming and sharing this conversation.